What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Too Pop to Handle. I'm your host, Andrew Nucatola, your pop culture best friend. And as always, I hope you guys are having a fabulous week. I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. Any of my girls, gays, and days who celebrated Pride over the weekend, I hope you guys had fun. We are coming up on the final weekend of Pride Month, which is crazy, but that means New York City, it is our time to shine. I am so excited for Pride weekend. This weekend coming up, there will be lots of stories to tell. I'm pretty sure we're starting our Pride festivities Thursday and just rolling through the weekend. We will be out and about. I am so excited. I'm seeing Trixie Mattel on Saturday, which also means I am seeing Jojo Siwa on Saturday, which I'm not thrilled about, to be completely honest, but I'm kind of excited for like the lore of it, to just like to see it in person and like realize that it's like not a full bit is going to be it's going to be something, to say the least. So, as not excited as I am to see JoJo, I am kind of excited just to see like what's in store. But that aside, we have tons and tons of exciting things going on this weekend. So next week's episode will be very exciting. And spoiler alert, this week's episode is extra exciting because a little bit later in the show, we're going to have a special guest come on, our first guest ever on the main show. Obviously, I've had my special guests come on for Drew releases, shout out Gotti and Delaney, but this special guest is somebody who I talk about so often. And a spoiler, just to, keep you guys hooked in, they were at the show this weekend where Travis Kelce came out on stage with Taylor Swift. So as soon as I knew that happened, I was like, oh, I need to get this bitch on the podcast. So stick around for that. I am so excited. But that being said, yes, I hope everybody is having a fabulous week. Hope everybody is staying cool. It is so fucking hot in New York. I am like dying. I'm like, what is going on? Global warming is real. Like, I don't know. It is insane. Whatever, we are getting through. AC is ACing, staying hydrated, doing our thing. But before we hop into our Drew releases and get on with the show, we have some fun little things to celebrate and to talk about. First and foremost, to any of my girlies watching on YouTube, to anybody who's ever watched on YouTube a short, a video, whatever it may be, we hit 100,000 views this weekend on the YouTube channel, which might seem like, okay, it's 100,000 views on your entire channel, whatever. I am celebrating. That is so exciting, and I am not downplaying it. I love to celebrate anything. Anybody who knows me knows that like I will find any reason to celebrate. And I'm sorry, but 100,000 views on the YouTube channel is so exciting and so major. And I'm so proud of this little podcast and this community that we're building. So thank you to all the YouTube girlies who are watching, who are streaming. We do stream the podcast there as well, just as audio. Watch the short, whatever it may be. Thank you guys. And that being said, let's hop into the show. We have, like I said, some exciting things to chat about. And first and foremost, you guys know the drill. We start every episode with our Drew releases, which is our new releases from last week and our new releases coming up this week. And before I even hop in, I just need to backtrack because a few episodes ago, I was talking about, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was talking about how at GovBall, I knew every Post Malone song because he sang nothing from his new album. Last week, while I was recording, he announced his new album date. So his album isn't out. Obviously, I am not a huge Post Malone stan. Like, I don't keep up with him like that. I love his music. I think he's so fun or whatever. But like, I literally finished recording, opened Instagram, and was like, oh, this is why I haven't heard anything from his new album. It literally got announced last week. So new Post Malone album on the horizon. It is country. I guess we'll see. We'll play it by ear, see how I feel about it. You guys know my drill with country music, but that being said, we had something so insane happen last week that if you know me, if you've been listening for a while, if you follow me anywhere, you know that my life completely changed last week because Charli XCX dropped the Girl So Confusing remix with none other than Lorde, which you guys know is one of my all-time favorite artists. She is literally bar and bar with Beyonce. They are my two favorites of all time. Do not make me choose. You wouldn't make somebody choose their favorite child. Don't make a gay man choose his favorite artist. Okay, let me have it. But yes, Charli dropped the Girl So Confusing remix with Lorde. And you guys know Brad is my current like top three contenders for favorite album of the year. So to have this album that I already love so much, just get this extra special sprinkle of, Lorde and Lordification, if you will, into it. Oh my God, let's talk about it. So, first and foremost, it all started because the Brat Wall was getting repainted, which can we just say how genius the Brat Wall is? Painting it every time something new is happening. So smart. I have never had more fun watching paint dry on a TikTok live stream than watching the Brat Wall get repainted. And when I realized that it was spelling out Lorde, I kid you not, I feel like I felt my soul leave my body. There has been a lot of rumors and, chit chat. Obviously, Lorde was at the show. What was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago at the Brooklyn show that I was at? She's been posting about Brat nonstop. She literally said it was the only album she had ever pre-saved in her life. She posted like her hand. She said she was a brat like after the show. Like Lorde is having a brat summer. And when I realized that like I put two and two together, I was like, oh my God, Lorde is literally about to be in the remix. And a lot of people were already saying that Girls So Confusing was about Lorde. There was like back and forth. The lyrics were kind of like pointing towards her. And there's always that like no one ever really knows what goes on with people behind the scenes, but you can kind of draw some straws and assume things. And just a lot of the parallels lined up between Charli and Lorde in the song. And this verse that Lorde wrote for this song, it is so good. And it really, I think what I love so much about this is that it just feels like two people, two friends having a conversation. They are sitting down, talk, maybe they had a falling out. Maybe there was, bumping heads a bit, not being able to get on the same page. And this just feels like they are sitting there having a conversation, talking it out. Charli has her part, Lorde has her part, and then they just are like, at the end of the day, I ride for you, Charli. Like they are still each other's girls, they have each other's back. And like they said, if they ever release music, the internet would go crazy. The internet is going crazy. I cannot believe it. It is I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I am so happy that they decided to work it out on the remix because it is just chef's kiss incredible. I don't know what else to say. I genuinely like it is so good. I am so thrilled. I don't know. I don't know. I am over the moon over this remix. I can't. I think I just need to like go on from there because it is too pop to handle. Lorde and Charli collabing, the definition of too pop to handle. There you have it. Another collab that came out. Let me just say, there was literally a collab released for every variant of Gay Man last Friday. Charli featuring Lorde, Gracie Abrams featuring Taylor Swift, Ariana featuring Brandy and Monica, Paris Hilton featuring Rina Sawayama. Like there was a collab for every type of gay man. It was truly like the pop girls gift for us this pride. That there were so many releases and I didn't even realize that they were all coming out. There was like it was just a lot. I was like every single type of gay man is pleased today. And with that, Ariana Grande, Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is Mine remix. I love it. No surprise. I loved it. I loved hearing all of their voices together. I thought the part in the lyric video where she talks about like not fucking with affairs, she clearly does not give a fuck. I loved it. I love the remix. I love the original song. I love the music video, as you guys know. Perfect remix. Perfect way to give a new life to this song, to, give us that nostalgia factor with Brandy and Monica. Like, it was just, again, too pop to handle. And I love when that happens. The next collab that came out on Friday, it was actually the full album. Haven't listened to the full album yet because I'm not a Gracie Abrams girl. Not that I dislike her. I think she's very talented. I understand why people like her. I just have so many pop girls in my bucket. I'm like, okay, I can't fit you all. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I need like if I was on a boat, put it this way. If I was on a boat like Noah's Ark and I had all my pop girls on it, I would need like a dinghy on the side to like fit the extra girls in. You know what I mean? Like I don't have room to add all these new girls into my boat. But I did start Gracie's album. I did really like what I heard. I just haven't finished it yet. But of course, the big thing of the album is the Taylor Swift collab. Is it really a collab? Taylor's on it for like 37 seconds, I would say. It's a good song. I do like it. I think Gracie has a really pretty voice, and I love hearing their voices together. I like the song. I did really like, I would say I listened to probably half of Gracie's album. And honestly, I did really like what I heard. It is on my list. You guys know there's a lot to listen to right now, so I'm making my way through there. But I did like this collab. I thought it was fun. I love that they are so close. I feel like Taylor is just like taking some of these younger girls under her wing and just like making sure that they're like doing everything right. She is letting them open for her on tour. She is doing collabs with them. She is giving them guidance, which is what people need. I feel like for a while, a lot of the pop girls, and this I'm talking like 90s, early 2000s, like the pop girls weren't always BFFs, and in the like late 2010s, because the early 2010s the girls were still at each other's necks a bit, but like I would say like mid to late 2010s and now going forward, a lot of the girls are very friendly and look out for each other. I know Katy Perry is always the first one to give like any up and coming artist her phone number. Like Olivia Rodrigo, I know she's given so many up and coming female artists her phone number to be like, hey, if you need anything, shoot me a text, I am here for you. And I just think there is like there's a community and a tight knitness. I don't know if that's the right word. You know what I'm saying? Like a tightness to all of the girls. So I love to see, when they lift each other up and they collab together. It's just very nice to see. So I did like that collab. I will finish Grace's album and we'll get around to it, but it's not top on my priority list. The next release we talked about this last week, but it was Paris Hilton featuring Rina Sawayama. I'm Free. I mean, it's exactly what you would expect from Paris Hilton. A fun beat. Paris is doing her Paris whispery vocals on it. It's a fun collab. I like the song. Did it change my life? No, but I wasn't expecting it to. It's just a fun pop song. I'm into it. I'm very excited for Paris Hilton's album to come out. I feel like it's just going to be fun. She did that interview a few days ago and she was like, this summer is for the girls and the gays. The pop stars are coming through and we are releasing this just for them. And just her saying that, I'm like, oh, she gets it. She will not disappoint. She rarely disappoints in anything she does because she's fucking Paris Hilton. But that being said, a fun collab. Rena is just I love Rena. I think she has such a fun and unique sound. So I'm always excited to see her collab with anyone. And a Paris Hilton collab with her is just something I never expected. So a fun, unexpected collab. Very fun there. Speaking of unexpected, this next release was something that got dropped randomly yesterday, so Monday, and there were some rumors over the weekend that this was coming out, the album, but I didn't realize the single we were going to get with it. We got a new SOPHIE track, which is featuring Kim Petras and BC Kingdom, and it was called Reason Why, and we also found out that we're getting a album from SOPHIE, a self-titled album, on September 27th. Now, of course, when I say unexpected release from SOPHIE, if you do not know, SOPHIE did pass away 3 years ago now, which still, it's so sad. SOPHIE was such a trailblazer in music production. She was not only was she trans, so just like having that trans representation in music was incredible. Her music was so unique and so different. She had such a beautiful way of like taking a song and just transforming it. She had songs with Charli XCX, Kim Petras, like so many of the pop girls that we love. And Charli has said so many times that her music now is so heavily inspired by SOPHIE. She did that interview, I think it was with Apple Music or BBC, I forget, where she gets completely choked up and literally cries talking about her experience with SOPHIE. So, SOPHIE, her music is not for everyone. It is definitely, I mean, she literally, I feel like, was like the first person to really go hyperpop and go like full fledged for it. And it is, I love it. I love hyperpop music. So if you're not into that, you probably will not enjoy SOPHIE's music, but I love it. I love this song. Reason Why, like I said, it's with Kim Petras, BC Kingdom. Great song. I don't know what else to say because I truly am so surprised at the fact that I was listening to a new SOPHIE song in the year 2024. When I found out that this was happening and it was getting released, of course, my first thought is always like, when somebody dies and a project comes out, the first thing, unfortunately, you think of is like, oh, this is a money hungry, a cash grab from the family. But her family put out a statement and said they reached out to all of her friends, all of the people she worked with, I'm assuming like Charli, Kim, everyone she was friends with and worked with, and had them involved in the project and also like got their kind of like their stamp of approval because it was such a close knit group of them who all worked together who like it was a community driven kind of feel, if you know what I mean. And they said, hey, we talked to everyone, we made sure that everybody was okay with this. So I think that they took the right steps and the right approach to releasing this album. Like I said, the album comes out September 27th. I don't know if we're gonna get any other songs from it, but I am so excited. I was texting my boyfriend and I was like, it is so weird to be listening to a new SOPHIE song. Obviously, these songs are from at least 3 years ago and just never got released. And it is exciting to see these albums and this body of work get released, but it's definitely a weird concept. When an artist passes away, you kind of sit with you like, okay, their discography is probably most times the only discography, like it's going to stay that way. So when there is an album that comes out after somebody passes, it's almost like, whoa, like what? I thought we were like, put the bow on it and then, we laid to rest. But I am very excited for this release. I am loving this song. Very excited to see what comes from that. And those are all of our releases from last week slash this week, I guess. And then coming up this week, Lil Nas X, he is releasing Here We Go, which is actually a song from a new Eddie Murphy movie, a Beverly Hills Cop movie that's coming out on Netflix. It sounds really good. There's a snippet that's going around on Instagram and TikTok. You guys know I love Lil Nas X. He is great. I always love his projects. I'm excited to see what he has in store. And I feel like we don't often get projects from him that are from like a movie or a soundtrack or something. So I'm excited to kind of see like how he interpolates, I guess, his sound into a movie when there's obviously the song was, I'm sure he had creative points in it, but obviously it wasn't just like him writing a song for the movie. It was probably, some more creative hands in there. So I'm excited to see how that comes out. We will chat about that next week. And that wraps up our Drew releases. Moving into our more pop culture topics, I do still have a music thing to chit chat about, and that is I finally listened to Normani's album, and I honestly really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. If you haven't listened to the last 2 episodes, I want to say, I kept putting off listening to Normani's album just because I had so much music to listen to, and I just like, there was a lot going on, it just wasn't top of my priority, but I said last week, I promised to you guys I was going to listen to it and give you guys my opinions, and I honestly really did like it. Was it groundbreaking music? No. Was it like the best thing I've ever heard in my life? No. But it was good. I did really like it, and I do feel really bad because all of the like chart update accounts, all of the pop culture or whatever accounts are all tweeting about her debut, and I guess now I'm doing it as well, so I'm no better than them. But it did debut with 12,000 sales, which is not great. It's not great. It debuted at number 91 on the Billboard charts. And it does kind of suck because there was such a hype and a drive and like an excitement behind Normani releasing music, but they just missed the mark in producing and not producing, I'm sorry, in promoting it. There was like no rollout, there was no event, there was barely a performance. Like it was so lackluster. And it does just go to show like you can't just rely on social media to push an album or to make a hit song. Like you have to do the work. You have to go on Today's Show, be there at 4 a.m. and do a Today Show performance. Go on the talk shows, do the circuit. Like, and it's not Normani's fault. I mean, I'm assuming her team just didn't present these opportunities or like they weren't there. I don't know. Whatever happened, I don't know. Not great. The album is good. I do like it. I do suggest if you're just looking for like an R&B kind of vibe, if that's your thing, definitely listen to it. It is very good, and I wish it was getting more of, recognition and sales. But in the year 2024, when every single person, even people who have passed away, are releasing music, you've really got to step your pussy up and like you've got to be on it. And it just wasn't, it wasn't there. So that being said, I feel like I needed to just, make sure I close the loop on the Normani album and do away with it because I feel like it's been like a thing for the past few weeks with us. And I'm like, you know what? Let me put the bow on it. I did like it. Will I be revisiting it? I don't know. We'll see. That being said, let's move on because this next topic that we're going to talk about, I've warned you guys. I have told you guys when this happens, prepare to be sick of me. Freaky Friday 2 is officially in production. Oh my God. I I can't even believe I'm saying that sentence. I have been manifesting, begging, pleading for a Freaky Friday sequel for years. I have tweets from like 2022 of me being like, if we get a Freaky Friday sequel, I will never shut up about it. And it is finally happening. Yesterday, Walt Disney Studios or Disney Studios, whoever it is, posted a photo of Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan on the set of Freaky Friday 2, and it's happening. Pretty much the entire original cast is back. The only cast member who I don't think is coming back is Anna's little brother, which is, I'm curious how he's going to be written out of it. Like, how is Harry Coleman not in the movie? But regardless, Lindsay's in it. I'm content. You guys know Lindsay Lohan is my it girl of all it girls, my queen. And I am just so excited. Freaky Friday is like top five, maybe top three movies of all time for me. It always has been. I've just loved it since I was a kid. Just, the nostalgia. Honestly, the music in it is so good. Pretty much the entire original cast is back. Mark Harmon is back. Chad Michael Murray is back. Christina Vidal is back. Pink Slip is back. The mother and daughter from the Chinese restaurant are back. Like, they are bringing back the OGs, and it is just going to make this movie so good. And of course, with a new storyline, there's going to be some new characters. So we have Julia Butters joining the crew, Manny Jacinto, Matreyi Ramakrishnan, and Sophia Hammonds, who are all joining in on the fun. The storyline seems to be following Anna with her daughter and a new stepdaughter who is joining the family. Unsure of, who's going to be the body switching, what's going to happen there. But regardless, I am so excited for this movie. Ugh, I cannot wait. It is getting a theatrical release, which is so exciting. It was originally rumored to be on Disney Plus, but they have switched to a theatrical release, which I think just the excitement and all of the fandemonium behind it and all the people who showed how excited they are just kind of helped be like, hey, we need this in theaters, not on streaming. So I am so excited for that. And a little Too Pop to Handle exclusive, I have heard from a very reliable source that the script is fantastic. Apparently, fans are going to be very thrilled with this storyline. They are staying true to the characters, they are staying true to the story and just like the overall arc of it. So I am so excited. I cannot wait. I will be updating you guys as production goes on, with releases and everything with that. I cannot wait. I am so excited for Freaky Friday 2. If anybody at Disney is listening, if you need anyone to promote this movie, make a TikTok, talk about it in a podcast, go somewhere, do something, have your people call my people. I will hop on a plane and go anywhere to help promote this movie. I'm just saying. But enough Freaky Friday talk for now because I could really go on for hours about how excited I am. Let's talk about somebody who is having a very exciting main pop girl moment, and that is no other than Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, it's a weekly occurrence now where there's something to talk about with her because she is on top of the world, I feel like. First and foremost, she released her short and sweet tour dates, which she's doing full on arenas, MSG, Barclays Center, like huge arena. So I am so excited. I saw her at Terminal 5 last year, which, if you know Terminal 5, you know that like to go to a show at Terminal 5, you have to really love the artist. I will literally fully miss a tour if I am not like fully sold on the album or the artist. Like, I have to love the artist performing at Terminal 5 to go there. And I braved Terminal 5 for the Emails I Can't Send tour. I am so happy to announce that I did get tickets for Barclays Center. I do not have to deal with Terminal 5 again. So I am very excited to see her. And, it's just so cool to see her. She sold out like 3 nights in LA. They had to add an extra New York show, another Texas show. Like, she really is the it girl right now. She is pulling these girls in. Everybody is eating her up. She literally just had her #1 debut with Please, Please, Please. So incredible. So hysterical also. If you didn't see, I posted on my story, but if you didn't see, in the like celebration post she did for going #1, she screenshotted somebody's tweet that was like, follow this being your follow-up single to Espresso is so embarrassing in her, post saying that she's congratulating herself for going #1. She's so funny. She is just so in on the joke and on so on the pulse of Twitter and internet culture. She's a perfect pop star. So congratulations, Miss Sabrina. This also makes her the first female artist in history to have two top two songs on the Billboard Global 200 singles chart in consecutive weeks. So with Espresso and with Please, 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 she's just like, she is really putting her foot down. She's like, I am here to stay. I am a main pop girl. I don't care what anybody says. I am here for the long run and I am so thrilled. And I'm honestly just it's really cool to see this era of like pop girls and fans, people are really diving into like their full discography. Where I feel like in the past, people would kind of just like surface level listen to the new music, but like Sabrina, Chapel, people are fully diving into like their older music. Sabrina just had like old songs and albums start charting again on iTunes. I think she has something bubble under on that Billboard charts. Chapel's album has gotten like insane streams and she's all over the Billboard top 100. I think she's going to have like the number 6 album on the Billboard chart next week, she's predicted, which is insane because the album came out 9 months ago. It literally came out last September, and like it's crazy, and it's so cool to see that people are going back and kind of doing their homework. Chapel's a little different because she only has the one. The fact that it came out almost a year ago and people are going back to it with this new hype. So cool. And Sabrina, just seeing all of these old songs of hers kind of get this new recognition. People are, going in and doing their research. It's just really cool to see. And as somebody who's been in stan culture for as long as I have, not let me not age myself, but for somebody who's been a stan of artists for so long, it's just cool to see that payoff for the artist. And it must be really cool and rewarding for them as well. So that is Sabrina. She also actually, not enough of Sabrina, Vogue World was this weekend, and Sabrina was there, but everybody was there. Oh my God. First and foremost, I know what Vogue World is, and I knew it was happening, but like, I didn't realize like the hype and excitement and like the everything around it. I feel like I opened my Twitter as soon as it started, and it was just everywhere. I couldn't scroll my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter, and I wasn't mad about it, but I was just like, oh my God, this is like people went nuts this year for it. So just to name some people who either walked in the show, attended the show, performed at the show, Miss Katy Perry, who we know is gearing up to start her new KP6 era. Like I said, Sabrina walked, Gigi Hadid, Kendall Jenner, the two of them rode in on horses. Like, hello? What in the equestrian? Like, crazy. Ciara walked. She looked stunning. I loved that yellow color on her. Alice Consani walked, who was just like, I feel like one of the it models right now. She is having such a moment. I love her. Venus and Serena Williams walked. Teyana Taylor, FKA Twigs, Bad Bunny performed. Like that's only like part of the list. I was like, if I go through everybody, I'll be here for an hour and a half longer than the episode, and we got things to talk about. But it was like I was like, oh my God, they pulled some big names for Vogue World this year, and it was exciting. I didn't watch the show live, but I caught up the next day, and the girls they were doing their thing. Vogue World was kind of that bitch. But yes, Vogue World exciting. Sabrina, congratulations on everything happening right now. I cannot wait for the short and sweet tour. It's gonna be so much fun. I cannot wait. And with that, this weekend was so exciting for many reasons. We have to talk about the Eras Tour in London this weekend because what the fuck? It was so major. I feel like it's been a while since we've done like a full Eras Tour recap for the weekend because there's been like big moments that have happened, but nothing to this level. And like if you know, you know, and if you don't, strap in, buckle up because we have some things to talk about and we have a very special guest and I am so excited. I'm not going to give it away yet, but just give us a few minutes and my special guest, we're going to phone a friend and chit chat with somebody who had boots on the ground, who was at the Eras Tour Night 3 in London when Killa Trav made his appearance and his debut at the Eras Tour. But let's not jump ahead. Let's rewind by Charli XCX for a second. Did you guys see the ring that Gigi Hadid bought for Taylor? Because it's very much giving congratulations, very much giving like maybe dare I say engagement present. So the ring is essentially it's ugly, but it's exactly something that Taylor would love to wear. And that's not a read, that's not a drag. I feel like Taylor just likes eclectic and unique looking pieces, and this sure is. So it's a gold ring, I'm pretty sure, with one of her cats on the top of it, like a portrait of the cat, and then on either side of the ring, it has a 13 and an 87. I wouldn't think anything of it was weird and like alluding to something more than just like a gift if the 87 wasn't on it. If it was just like a 13, maybe a 1989, like I don't know. The fact that Travis's jersey number is on this ring that Gigi Hadid got custom made for Taylor Swift, something sounds fishy. Something feels like an engagement present. And I mean, I'm not, whatever they do, and if they're, whatever it is, That's their prerogative. I am simply a boy with a microphone, just giving you guys some pop culture news because that's what I'm here to do. So take that with what you will. I will post the ring in my episode carousel on Instagram. So if you haven't seen it, you don't need to go searching. You can just go look at my Instagram. It'll be up by the time the episode is live. Very peculiar though, like very much giving engagement present. So I'm excited to see why she gave that ring and like what comes from it from there. That being said, let's get into these shows because it was crazy. She had 3 shows this weekend, and first and foremost, the surprise songs. Oh my God, it's been a minute since a surprise song has really like hit me in the gut. This week got me. First up, the first night, she does a mashup of Hits Different and Death by a Thousand Cuts. Death by a Thousand Cuts is in my top 3 dream surprise songs. I would say is Death by a Thousand Cuts, New Romantic, and The Way I Love You. Those are like my 3, like my God tier Taylor Swift songs. And anytime she sings any of them, it hits me like a bullet because I'm like, "Oh, that should be me." And Death by a Thousand Cuts happening again. It hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, God damn it. I don't even have tickets to the Eras tour, but the fact that like she's still singing my top 3 songs. The next song, because that wasn't enough, she did The Black Dog mashed up with Come Back Be Here, mashed up with Maroon. First and foremost, the fact that night 1 at the Eras Tour got 5 songs, 2 of which were my surprise songs. I got Come Back Be Here in Philly, and I got Maroon in New Jersey. They are literally like, they won. They won. But then it just keeps going. Like, she was on something this weekend. Night 2, the first song she sings is Thank You, Amy, mashed up with Mean. I don't even need to go in further. If you know, you know. That is insane. She is an insane woman. There is nothing like a mad woman. And Taylor Swift is, in fact, insane for mashing up Thank You, Amy, and Mean. And then she sang Castles Crumbling. Hayley Williams came out. Very cute. We've kind of been waiting for them to do this song together. Paramore's been on the tour in and out for since the first weekend. They were the first opener. So it was honestly like bound to happen eventually. So we got that off the list. Very exciting. I love their friendship. I think it's so genuine and sweet. And you can tell that they really love and care about each other. I kind of see their friendship the same way that I see Taylor and Emma Stone. Like, they must have such a close knit relationship, and we don't always see them together. We don't always see them talking about each other, but when they're together, you can just tell that they really are like solid, really, really good friends, and just love that. And then night 3, the surprise songs, they were crazy, but I mean, night 3 is really where like shit took a turn. But the surprise song, she sang Us with Gracie Abrams, which is so exciting to have the debut the same weekend that the album comes out. Also, a killer marketing tactic for Gracie, like genius. Whoever thought of that? I don't know if it was planned. I don't know what the statistics behind it, the strategy. Genius to do it the same weekend that your album comes out. And then the next mashup, Out of the Woods, Is It Over Now, and Clean. 1989 and Speak Now are my 2 favorite Taylor Swift albums, and the fact that they got a 3-song mashup of all 1989 songs, what the fuck? This bitch is insane. London won this weekend. London literally won. It is insane. Let alone the surprise songs. There was also the list of celebrities at this show were pretty much like it was like the Met Gala. It was insane the amount of people who was at this show. Let's go into it. We had Cara Delevingne, Nicola Coughlan, JVN, Jason and Kylie Kelce, Salma Hayek, the Royals, literally Prince William, Prince George, and Princess Charlotte. And not only did they attend the Eras tour, Taylor literally posted a selfie with them, but not only just the 4 of them, with Travis in the photo, which is the first time Taylor has posted Travis anywhere publicly. And the fact that she hard launched her very public relationship with the photo of the royals and the 2 of them, fucking insane. Like that's an insane way to hard launch your boyfriend to Instagram. Even being Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, that is crazy. What the fuck? Tom Cruise was there, Hugh Grant was there, and he had the funniest tweet. He said, "Dear Taylor Swift, you have an incredible show, an amazing and very hospitable team, and an excellent if gigantic boyfriend. Hashtag tequila shots. Thanks so much from one aging London boy, wife, and thrilled 8-year-old. Hashtag half girl, half bracelet." In which Taylor responded, as a longtime Hugh Grant stan, this tweet is very important to my culture. Uh, were him and Travis just like ripping tequila shots in the VIP tent? Obsessed with that. Also, the fact that he said, excellent, if gigantic boyfriend, like, what are you saying? I don't know. I was cracking up. I love that tweet. I love that Taylor replied to it. Moving on through the list of celebrities, we had Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, Greta Gerwig, Liam Hemsworth, Rachel Zegler, Theo James, Sophie Turner, Gracie Abrams, Paul McCartney, Ellie Goulding, Bon Jovi, Kate Blanchett. And speaking of very important people who are at the Eras Tour this weekend, my good pal Jaclyn, my old roommate, my prom date, one of the first people who even knew I was doing this podcast, was in attendance on night 3, which realistically, debatable, might have been like the biggest night of the weekend. So I'm so excited to have our very first guest on the main show, Miss Jaclyn Griffith. Hello, Jaclyn.
Hello, I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. It just feels right that you are my first guest on the main show. If anybody listening does not know Jaclyn, A, I'm so sorry because she is a gem. And B, like I said, we have lived together. I've talked about her on the podcast a ton. I feel like she's like a reoccurring character in the
Yeah.
cast of Too Pop to Handle,
Mhm.
as it should be. But yes, we have been best friends since middle school. We actually bonded over Taylor Swift, and then we had a short, AIM disagreement about Joe Jonas versus Taylor Swift and that whole drama. So the lore goes
Yeah.
back. It goes deep. We went to prom together. We've lived together. We've done it all, I feel like. And just to, flex on Jaclyn a little bit, Jaclyn has, in fact, been in Taylor Swift's apartment. She was at the very first 1980, right? The very first one, like
I think it was the second. I
the
think it was
sec
Snap New
it
York.
was the first like album one in New York,
But yeah,
right?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was a new invention.
Yeah. So she was at the very first, I guess, New York 1989 secret session, which I think maybe this is a spoiler. I haven't even told Jaclyn about this yet, but maybe for the 10-year anniversary of 1989, we do a whole episode talking about that. Everybody
Yes.
listening, tweet me, leave it like a comment below. Let me know if you would like that because I think
Mhm.
that'd be really fun to do. But like I said, enough about, gushing about how much I love Jaclyn because that could be a whole episode in itself. Fresh off of her flight from London, she is joining us. So, Jaclyn, how the hell was the Eras Tour this weekend?
Wow. First of all, thank you for that intro. That
Oh,
was
of
lovely.
course.
I feel great. It was wonderful. I mean, it always is, and it was wonderful in new and exciting British ways that I had never experienced before.
Right. So
Yeah.
Jaclyn and I, we went to the Eras Tour together back in, oh my God, when was that? Last May. We
Yeah,
like
May.
went together. We didn't end up sitting together, but we like traveled together and we've gone to a like pretty
A lot.
3 Taylor tours together, right?
Yeah.
Like at least gone to together, sat step,
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, we,
Uh
we did go to GMA for Red, if you
oh my
recall. That
God,
was
oh my God, wait, we've
very
done
important. That was the,
so many Taylor eras together.
yeah,
That's crazy. Yeah, we did
yeah.
Red release day. We did
Hmm.
1989 tour together, Reputation tour together twice.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then we did Eras tour together. So we've been
yeah.
on this ride for a while together, this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
Taylor thing. But like I said, Jaclyn did see the tour pre TTPD, and now she has been one of the lucky ones, no pun intended, Taylor's version, to see it post TTPD. What was it like seeing like the new set? Was there like a freshness to it? Was it like did Taylor seem more excited to be doing that set? Like was the vibes different, or was she just like happy to be alive, like she typically always is?
Yeah, I purposely tried not to watch videos of it before I went because I wanted to be mostly surprised.
You're
I knew
so
the
good about that.
I tried. I knew the basics, like the first night I read the set list and kind of knew, but I tried really hard to not dig in totally, right? So I only had a
Mm-hmm.
surface level understanding of what went on. And I'm glad that I did because it was like watching a movie play out. Like it
Right.
was very cool. It was very,
It's very like theatrical the way she does it. It's like
exactly.
such a cool way that she's incorporated into this already like monstrous set. Did
Yeah.
you feel like it was like so obviously she cut a few things and like merged some stuff. Did you feel like since seeing it before and after, did you feel like this was like did you miss anything? Or do you think like the things that she cut out didn't really affect the experience because it was so much excitement anyway? Like it didn't really.
Yeah, no, it didn't feel like anything was cut. I know,
Yeah,
like when you ask me, I'm like, "Ugh, I love the one, and she cut the
of
one."
course.
But
Yeah,
in the
right.
moment, I was not thinking that. No, it didn't feel
Yes.
like anything was missing or empty at all. No.
I know. I keep seeing so many people, and for us, it doesn't really matter, but there's so many people who are like, oh my God, I went to the Eras Tour pre Speak Now Taylor's version, and I'm going After. So like we all completely missed out on Long Live. But I'm like, at the end of the day, like going to the Eras tour, let alone once, let alone twice, and getting in two different like legs of it essentially is like you can't really be mad about like 6 songs being cut, whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I bought these tickets last July, or my friend bought them.
Yeah. I remember when you got them, I was like, oh my God, this seems so far and it came so
Yeah,
quick.
it's crazy. And so obviously we had no idea of anything related to Tortured
Yeah,
Poets. I just wanted to go again. And now I'm like, once the album came out, I'm like, all right, I've never missed a Taylor tour. If I had missed the Tortured Poets set, it would have been kind of like missing one of her tours, and that would have
100%.
been devastating. So like, shout out to Past Me for, just making sure
Yeah.
I was there without even knowing it.
I know,
Yeah.
literally. It is, I feel like you somehow like always get so not you always get so lucky with Taylor. You've literally been like a ride or die for so long, but like you and are like the most deserving, like always end up having such like perfect little like moments. I feel like with Taylor, like even like the like Fearless tour, didn't you hug her or like something,
Yeah.
right? Like for the first
Yeah.
time you saw her to have that like interaction, and then you were front row for Speak Now,
Yeah.
1989 session. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I remember when you were at 1989 Secret Session, I was in Manhattan and you texted me, and I literally was like, I fell to the floor. I was like, no fucking way. Like, Jaclyn was the Taylor Swift fan in our school. Like, before anybody knew who Taylor was, Jaclyn did. And
Yeah.
she was literally like preaching to the choir, like, listen to Taylor, listen to Taylor, listen to Taylor. And was probably honestly one of the reasons like I ended up buying Fearless. I had known Taylor and I had listened to Debut and I was a fan, but I wasn't like die hard. And then she was like, you need to listen to this album. So I literally went to Target and I bought it. And I was like, oh wait,
Yeah.
I see, I
Yeah.
get why Jaclyn is like preaching to all of us. So I'm so happy
Yeah.
that you were able
Yeah.
to get your Tortured Poet set. Speaking of the Tortured Poet set, there was nothing too tortured about it because Mr. Guy on the Cheaps himself, Travis
Killa
Kelce,
Trav
did
himself.
literally Killa Trav came out and killed it on stage. And I obviously everybody listening, I have been avoiding talking about Travis coming on stage because I knew Jaclyn was going to come on. And since she was there, I was like, what better way to talk about the fact that Killa Trav was literally on stage than with somebody who was there? So let's talk about it. Like, how crazy was that? And like, did you pick up right away? The video seemed like he was out on stage for like 10 seconds and then everybody caught it. Like, was it like that?
Yeah.
Did the
Yeah.
videos
So
do it justice of like the excitement that just like burst out of nowhere?
it was insane. Yeah. The
Yeah,
reaction, like, I feel like we floated to another like plane of existence. Like it was
absolutely.
crazy. And that's coming from someone who's been to a lot of Taylor Swift shows and seen a lot of crazy reactions to things. Like we
Right.
had Away Car with Jack Antonoff last year, and that
Yeah.
was an insane reaction. This was more. This
No,
was absolutely
absolutely.
otherworldly. Yeah.
Like this, that was, I remember I saw it. I was literally on the subway. So when I saw the tweet, or actually my friend texted me and I was like, no fucking way. But I was on the subway. So I
Yeah.
lost service like instantly. And I was like, this isn't real. Like this is not happening. And then I got to the next subway stop, opened my phone and I was like,
Yeah, I
oh
wouldn't have
my
believed it.
God. Yeah.
I legitimately thought I was hallucinating. I was like,
Yeah.
did that really happen? Like, am I delusional? Did that really
Yeah.
happen? Yeah, and so I was like facing my friend Simra, who I went with at that
Love
exact
Simra. She
moment.
also came to Aristor she sat with
Yeah,
me actually in July. We had the best time with her. She was
yeah,
a gem. So I'm so glad you both got to go again and like have that together.
exactly. She came from London for the New York show, and I came from New York for the London show. We swapped the
It's
next year.
very comeback be here.
Yes. Oh, we're aware. We're aware of the parallels. So I happened to be facing her for whatever reason at that exact time, and she was like, "Look!" Like it was the craziest thing, and I just
And
saw
it
his
was.
face on the screen. It was like a zoom in on his face. Yeah, it was the craziest. Yeah,
Like,
and yeah, it was a different level of cheering the entire time that he
yeah.
was. And then I immediately lost my voice. Like the
Oh,
next song, I was like, "Oh, I
as you
can't."
should. Yeah.
Yeah, it came back, but I was like, that was the moment where it crossed
Yeah.
into
You're
a
like,
different.
Taylor can do it with a broken heart. I can't do it
Yeah,
without my voice. And it's gone. Like
yeah,
it is what it
exactly,
is.
exactly.
I
And
like
like that particular moment and that particular song, there's so many layers to it. So like,
right.
so it comes after The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, right? He picks her up, and it sort of
Yes.
seems like he's saving her, which I have mixed feelings about because
I
the
yeah.
feminist in me is like, oh, like that narrative. But they handled it in a way that it wasn't that. It was very like practical almost. Like
Right.
he did what the dancers would otherwise do on that night. So yes, he did this romantic like sweeping up of carrying her or whatever.
But it was gonna happen anyway.
But it was gonna happen, and he
Yeah.
brought her to a couch where he then became the guy who was like, time to get ready, time to do it with a broken heart. Like he
Right.
was playing a character.
Exactly. Yeah.
He wasn't playing her boyfriend who was there to save her from a broken heart. He was
No,
playing the
exactly.
bad guy, really.
Yeah.
But it's like the bad guy with that very sweet romantic subtext of like, we all know he's not the bad guy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. It's like out of breaking the fourth wall. Like this is obviously
exactly.
not Maddie Healy. It's like,
Yeah. 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 And I was
it's
really
insane.
watching to see if, I was like, what's going to happen next? Is she going to
Yeah.
acknowledge him? Is she going to hug him? Like what? And there wasn't anything. I saw a video later. I realized that she blew him a kiss, which I missed
Yeah.
from standing. But I was glad too. Like it just felt very practical. It felt like the right amount of a cameo appearance without it becoming
100%.
about him or like him taking the spotlight or becoming the only thick part of the conversation. So I think the amount of Travis Kelce was perfect.
Yeah, and I love the way that like he, like you said, like he carried her, but like he came out, he walked down the catwalk, like had his
Yeah.
moment, and then really for the rest of it, his back was to the audience. Like
Yeah.
he carried her, and then he's like facing her the rest of it. And obviously, she's having her moment. That's when she gets changed, and like
Mhm.
obviously, like he was just playing it up, doing his thing. But like, yeah, I really appreciated the way that it wasn't over the top like oh my
Yeah.
god lovey-dovey like let me act different like they both acted so I mean I Taylor is literally the definition of a professional. Like she's so good at keeping things like to par of what she wants, you know? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think like the way that they did it was perfect, but it was like the perfect little sprinkle and like
Mhm.
just even just him and Jason and Kylie being there all weekend. Like obviously it was like a family affair of all of them. And she had so many friends there.
Right.
Obviously Scott and Andrea. Like there were so many people there that like she was surrounded by so much love. I think it was like the perfect way to just like seal it with the kids at the end of this incredible weekend, like end it
It's like the
perfectly.
ultimate hard launch, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
literally.
Taylor Swift version of a hard launch,
And like
right?
I was talking about earlier in the episode, like she literally posted him on Maine, like with the
Mhm.
Royals, which is just like the hard launching with a photo of you and the Royals is the craziest
I
thing.
know.
Insane. And then like,
I yeah, you see that photo and I was like, oh my God, she posted with the royal family. Wait, is
yeah,
that
wait,
just
that's
like
Travis
I had
Kelce.
like
Yeah.
two reactions, two completely
Yeah.
separate
No,
reactions. Yeah.
literally. And it was such like a normal photo, like just like a selfie. It was
Yeah.
like nothing crazy. I know
It
it
was
could have
not
been
great.
like
Yeah.
a posed professional photo, but no,
Yeah.
it was like quite literally on an iPhone. There's the candid
Yeah.
of them, and I'm like, oh, she literally took this like for herself. I loved
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was like such a perfect way to just like end this already. I mean, between all the surprise songs all weekend, between like everything that was going on
Mhm.
at these shows, like perfect way to end it. Just so much fun. And then the videos of him after during Karma, when everyone was like freaking out and singing to him, like it was even more special to see him reacting to Guy on the Chiefs that night because like he was also
Yeah.
the guy on the stage.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a very mature way to do it, I think.
Yeah,
Like
I
they both
totally
like
agree.
committed to the bit, like he was playing a character, even like with her Instagram post too, that was very mature.
Yeah,
Like
very
and
mature.
sappy. It
And
wasn't
like
like
I'm like, what you say, like so like proud and swooning or something over Travis, like his
over. Yeah.
debut. Yeah, like it's so cute, but also not like ew, shut up. You know, it's very like good,
No,
like equal parts lovey dovey, but also like oh, like he was clocked in. He was working. He saw the show free too many times. She was like, nobody wants to work these days. Get your ass
yep,
up and work.
yep,
She's like, you're
yeah,
not training right now. Get on stage and dance, monkey.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
As
like
that,
we love to see it.
I
It
love
like
that.
takes away the anti-feminist part of her him
Yeah,
carrying her. It's like oh no,
yeah,
he's literally dancing for her and putting on a show on her
exactly.
stage.
Yeah,
And
that's a
then
good point. I think that that's important. I didn't think about it that way.
yeah,
Yeah,
like it
he's
flips the
doing a
script real
job.
quick.
Yeah,
And then she also, I don't know if it was at your show, there was so much going on. She did like the Archer thing that he does. I think
yeah,
it might have
yep,
been earlier in your show, which like
yeah,
just like was obviously an Easter egg because God forbid she does anything without like breadcrumbing us a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But
You're right.
it was
Yeah.
so good. And I'm so glad that you were there. Like if I couldn't have been there, I'm glad it was you who were there to experience it because like it's
Yeah.
what you deserve.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to
No,
me.
literally, of
It would
course.
like maybe this is me being like too like
Too pop
American,
to handle.
but
No.
I always. But I wouldn't expect her to do that in London. Like he doesn't have any ties to London. Like if it were
Yeah,
like
but
millions
Joe
of
Alwyn and Maddie Healy do.
I am aware of that. Yeah. And I do often, every time she goes out with him, go like, oh, she hates Joanne. Oh, that's so
Right.
good. And I would do
Like
the same thing if I
they
were
might
her.
be cool and like they might be good, but like she's going to like get the last laugh and like
Yeah.
pour the salt in the wound, even when the album wasn't
Exactly.
about him fully. And like what we
Right.
know, like she paints Joe in a very like positive enough light, like a mature
Right.
ex light, but she
Yeah.
still made sure she was like, oh, I'm in your territory. Let me just like stick the knife in a little bit deeper and just
Just
be
a
like,
little.
hey.
But yeah. By the way,
So
Paul
good.
McCartney's here.
What
Yeah.
was that?
By the way, Paul McCartney's here.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's
literally, yeah.
like
On top of like
the
the
prince.
list
Yeah.
was really crazy. It was insane.
Yeah.
Like while I was reading it and like even writing my outline for the episode today, I was like, this is literally this could have been like the invite list for the Met Gala as well.
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
such a stacked list. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So
It's wild.
good. Well, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. It was so, I feel like it just makes sense to have you as our first main show guest. And like, what better way than to bring you on to talk about Taylor Swift? So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Jaclyn. Like I said, I think we might do that 1989 episode. So stay tuned for that. It'll be, what is that, October is the
Yep.
anniversary, right? And that's
Yes.
10 years. That's
Yep. 10
crazy.
years since I met her. Yeah.
Crazy. But it'll be here
And
before we know it.
I know. And it's still, it's been 10 years since I met her, and like it still is very important to me. Like
Oh,
it like the magic has not worn off.
no,
Like
literally, like, and
it's
something about Jaclyn is
still
like
going.
every single one of her friends has the wallet size photo of her and Taylor in their wallet. It's in my wallet right now. Ashley, I know you're listening. I know it's in your wallet.
Yeah.
Megan, Joe, Erin, everybody has one in their wallet.
Yeah.
And
Like my
like
college professors. Yeah.
everybody, because we just know, like, you can like think about meeting your ultimate diehard fave, and that's Jaclyn meeting Taylor. And it was like such a special, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about it. Like, I feel like
I know.
I'm Easter egg breadcrumbing them, but like your experience with Taylor was so good. Like the red wine and the laughing together. Oh my God, I can't wait. Wait, yeah, we have to do that episode. I don't care what people comment or if they don't want it or not. We're going to do it. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about it forever, truly
Yeah,
for
and we
hours,
will.
but yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jaclyn. We still have some more show to talk to, so I will let you go and we will talk to you very soon. It was just a crazy weekend to be at the Eras Tour. Thank you so much, Jaclyn, for joining us. Thank you guys for listening to me recapping it. We are not done yet, though. We still have our TV recap, my yes and my mess. It was just an exciting week for pop culture. So, first and foremost, moving into our TV recap, the Kardashians. I did catch up, I did watch. Like I've been saying, this season really isn't that groundbreaking. There's nothing on it that I'm like, huh. The first few episodes, I have some points to talk about. Really, the only thing I need to talk about from the last two episodes is why is everybody being so mean to Kylie for just having a venting session with Kendall about her looks? I feel like everybody is going down Kylie Jenner's throat, being like, you made unrealistic beauty expectations for women for years. You don't get to feel bad about how people portray your looks. Do we forget that like these people are humans? Again, I am not like a Kardashian diehard. I don't think they are like God's gift to the earth. I think they're entertaining. There is no denying their impact on pop culture. Like they have been monumental in pop culture. You can't deny it. Whether you love them or hate them, it's the truth. And Kylie just had this like very vulnerable moment with Kendall, literally with her sister, talking about how, she got her fillers dissolved and she's understanding why all the work she did to herself was, it didn't paint the best image for her or for people online. And she's like, why are people still coming for me and dragging me and being so mean about my looks when all I'm doing is just like trying to make myself feel comfortable, feel beautiful, and people were being so nasty online. And I understand having no sympathy for the Kardashians because, like, you have all the money in the world. What problems do you have? But, like, this past week, I feel like people have been dehumanizing Kylie Jenner to a level that I have not seen since, like, 2013, like, King Kylie era. Like, it's really kind of crazy the way people just, like, speak at these people. Not just the Kardashians, really any celebrity, but, like, this is just the example at hand. People really do forget that like celebrities are people and you can say whatever you want about them. I literally have a pop culture podcast, obviously, but like people really do get so like too comfortable talking at and talking about celebrities. And I feel like this was a really good reminder to just be like, hey, let's pull back for a second. Like, we don't need to be so rude about people's looks. I know me talking into a microphone isn't going to get anyone to stop, sway anybody's opinion. And if it does, pat me on the back because, like, that's incredible. But I was just like, this is like really harsh to be doubling down on somebody after she's literally on her TV show crying about the way people treat her over her looks. I don't know. That was my main takeaway. I guess seeing Courtney and Travis have their, give birth and like that whole story was really cool to have like the videos of them in the hospital, and crazy that the baby wasn't born on Halloween. It was born at like 12:01, I think, on November 1st, and they really wanted a Halloween baby, but he literally waited until the clock struck midnight on November 1st. That was kind of weird. What type of witchcraft was that? But again, this season really isn't like groundbreaking news in any sense, and I'm still enjoying it entertainment wise. I'm just like, there's nothing really to chat about recap wise. If there is later in the season, we will continue to talk about it. And as I watch, I will continue to talk about it when I feel it's fitting. But we're gonna watch the Kardashians for entertainment, not to dissect as a pop culture podcast. But something we are dissecting as a pop culture podcast is RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9. It is another day in the workroom, and RuPaul chose chaos today. They are puppets on RuPaul's strings. It is crazy, the mini challenges and everything that he makes them do. So Ru enters the workroom, and we find out that the girls need to carry fruit from one basket to another between their thighs. So they are literally putting fruits between their thighs and have to like duck walk and waddle over to another basket, release the fruit into the basket, and hope it doesn't bounce out. Who comes up with this shit? I am so fascinated with the producers and the teams who come up with these crazy challenges, even for the traders. If you guys remember when I was recapping that, whenever that was a few months ago, like they really come up with the craziest shit for these people to do. It's honestly admirable. It is admirable that they are so creative and able to just like think of these things. I'm like, do it. And like they're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. Very bizarre. But so yes, after they carry the fruit from one basket to another through their thighs, we find out that Nina West wins, and she wins immunity, which is a fabulous thing to win, I will say. Spoiler alert, she didn't need it, but we'll get into that. This week is a comedy and acting challenge, and it was actually really fun because the girls got to spend so much time with Rue. I feel like the most time you really see with the girls with Rue on any season is in the workroom and on the main stage. Like, we don't see them really do challenges together. It's rare that Rue directs a challenge, and it's even more rare that Rue is in an acting scene with them. So it was really cool to see like another side of Rue and all of their relationships and the way like they were all breaking character and laughing together. Like, it just kind of adds a little more like human element to the show and not so much like judge versus contestant. It's like, oh, they actually are real people who like kind of form some type of relationship, even if it is just for the camera. But yeah, so I loved this. I thought it was really fun. And I honestly, this runway was killer. It has to be my favorite of the season. So the runway theme is Widow Weep for me. So, the widow, they just had somebody, their husband die. Very sad, but these girls fucking turned it. Like, it was good. First and foremost, Nina West. Let's clap for Nina. I don't know if you can hear it because of my voice isolation, but I am clapping. But she looked fantastic on the runway, which you guys know I have famously hated everything she'd worn this season, and she looked incredible. I love this look. It was the best look she's had all season. Phenomenal. I loved it. It was finally a good reveal, not just revealing to like more glittery fabric. I loved it. Amazing job for Nina West this week. Roxy Andrews came out as like this killer bride with the murder weapon. She had a bloody axe. She had blood all over herself. I forget who, I think it might have been on the pit stop. It was one of the recap shows that I watch or listen to. And they were like, I wish the blood went over the dress more. It was pretty much like red crystals on her neckline. I wish, and I agree, like, I wish that the blood did kind of splatter on the dress more. Again, it is what it is. Her makeup alone steals the show. Like, she's just so stunning that I'm like, I don't really care. There could have been no blood on her and I still would have been like, oh, she's fucking gorgeous. Love this look from Roxy. Next up, Angeria Paris Van Michaels. Holy shit. Now you guys know she is my Southern Belle. I adore, I love her so much. And she came the fuck through this week. When she turned the corner on that runway and she took the widow to a whole nother step, being like a black widow spider, but still being a widow weep for me. She had the urn on her hair, literally an urn in her wig. She looked incredible. I loved her creative spin on it. I loved her makeup. I loved everything she did. It was no notes, literally perfection. I loved it. Next up was Plastique, who just can't look bad a day in her life. She looked gorgeous. It was a like literally a work of art, this garment. I didn't really get Weeping Widow from it. It wasn't like sad. You think Weeping Widow, you think either like bridal or something more sad. Maybe I'm missing something there. She looked fantastic, do not get me wrong, but I didn't think it was like the most on theme, but she literally looks like $6 million just anytime she steps on the runway. So like who you like you can't be mad. You know what I mean? Even if she completely misses the runway theme, she still looks better than most of the girls on the runway. Sorry. And next up, Chanel. I didn't understand the connection. I got like the first part was very Weeping Widow and sad, like the black cloak. When she took it off, gorgeous garment. It was stunning, so cool. I didn't understand fully how it connected. I guess maybe it was like now she's living her life as like a rich whatever. It was very similar to Georges, who was next. They both did this like black coat and then reveal into just like a dress. Chanel was more like kind of like Marie Antoinette, and Georges literally looked like the red salsa dancing girl, the emoji. Both looked gorgeous. I liked. I, it's tough because I liked them both a lot, but there were things that I was like, I don't know. Like again, I don't understand like Marie Antoinette esque in this. I guess it was a character. I don't know. Georges, she looked great. It was cool, but it was like, okay, like now you're a salsa dancer. Again, this is one of my favorite runways of the season. Everybody looked great. This is just me trying to like stay in tune with the runway theme. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to be like, wait, how does this connect back to Weeping Willow when you're dressed like Marie Antoinette and the red salsa dancing girl? I don't know. Again, stunning runway. And we ended it with two banger looks. Oh my God, there's a little fly. Not this fly, literally in my camera. You don't pay rent here. Get out. Anyway, um, Gottmik turns the corner, and you want to talk about somebody who always is on theme and looks fucking incredible. Gottmik is show-stopping. She turned that corner, and the way that the candle was melting, the way that the dress, oh my God, it was stunning. Incredible. No notes, not one. She has every single week killed the runway and done it in a way that is so creative and unique. You just have no option but to stand. Like, she's incredible. She is, ugh, I love her. Love that look. And then Miss Vanjie, she looked so fucking hot. Oh my God. First of all, she comes out with that fur coat, which I was just like, oh bitch, she's rich. And then to reveals that like lingerie, the body was bodying, the jewelry was jewelry, like her makeup, her hair, everything insane. She looked so hot this week. I was like, oh, that's a woman. Like that is a full-fledged woman at birth. She looked incredible. We come to find out that the top two this week, very well deserved. Angeria and Nina West. Again, I loved both of their runways. I thought they both were hilarious in the challenge. It's no shock that like Angeria and Nina are winning a comedy challenge. They are funny just by like breathing. So it made sense. Very well deserved. You guys know I love to see Angeria win. They go on to lip sync to Lover Girl by Tina Marie. Angeria ends up winning my queen, my Southern Belle. And if you remember, I did say that Nina did get immunity this week, which she didn't end up needing. So I ended up giving her $2,500 to go towards her charity, which was nice because, again, she won immunity and then didn't get to use it. It kind of sucks. So the fact that they gave her some money for her charity was such a nice little gesture and way to kind of like not let it go to waste. But Injuria does win. She wins the $10,000 for her charity, and she decides to cut off Gottmik, which like makes sense. I understand. It looks like drama next week. Gottmik is not happy, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her. But I mean, it is the name of the game. But this is the second week that Injuria gets to cut somebody off. So obviously she couldn't cut off Roxy. So again, that being like, if she cut Roxy off again, it would have been Hot Mess Express. But that being said, that was RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9 this week. Loving this season. You guys know I am very excited to see how this season ends. I honestly, this non elimination thing, it's great. I love being able to see the girls every week, but I have no idea when the season's gonna end. Like, there's no way when people eliminate, you're able to be like, okay, there's 6 queens left. There's at least 5 episodes, or there's at least, you know what I mean? Like, you can usually piece together a timeline. This could go on until December if they wanted to. They could literally just keep going. There's no eliminations. But that being said, loving this season, very excited to see how it turns out. And that brings us to the last segment of our show. It is time for my yes and my mess of the week. If you are new here, first of all, welcome to the Two Pop to Handle family. Second of all, I end every single show with my yes and my mess of the week. My yes being something I'm loving, and my mess being something I am not loving. We always start on a high note, so let's kick it off. Now, there are far and few times where a new lingo or saying or phrase gets added into a gay man's vocabulary. You know, like there's certain pop culture moments that just like when it happened, they stick in your vocab and they are new things to say. But it has to be like a big hitter for it to really stick. My guess this week is just saying, this is going to ruin the tour and let's work it out on the remix. Obviously, this is going to ruin the tour, is what Justin Timberlake said when he got arrested. Any minor inconvenience that I've had this week, ugh, this is going to ruin the tour. The subway is delayed, it's going to ruin the tour. My coffee, I'm waiting too long for it, it's going to ruin the tour. Like any minor inconvenience, my first thought, this is going to ruin the tour. And I love it. I feel like she's here to stay. I feel like I'm going to be saying that for a while. It's really the only good thing Justin Timberlake has given us in the past 10 years. So let me have it. Let me take it. And the second one, let's work it out on the remix. It's just so funny, the memes of it. I don't know if I'll be saying that as often as the tour one, but I think in like internet culture, it's gonna stick around for a while. I'm already seeing people using it for like funny, famous feuds. People are using it for like hacks. Oh my God, I finished hacks, by the way. Incredible. If you have not watched Hacks, go watch Hacks. It was so good. The ending of season 3, holy shit. Talk about matching somebody's freak. They need to work it out on the remix. Incredible. But I've just been loving being like, oh my God, they need to work it out on the remix. Like if you have two girlfriends who are fighting, tell them to work it out on the remix. If you have like two characters in a movie that don't like each other, just let them work it out on the remix. They're gonna work out on the remix just like Charli and Lorde did. I just love it. And I love when there's a new phrase or word or saying that comes into the vocabulary for a bit, just adds a little spice. You know what I mean? It just makes things a little more fun because the girls who get it, they get it. Like when you say a pop culture reference, especially a new one, and somebody lights up, you could see that excitement in their eyes. It's almost like me right now. I feel like I'm like so excited to talk about a new pop culture moment, which is really my life. But yeah, very excited to have some new vocab to add, some more brain rot vocab, to add to the dictionary. And my mess for the week, speaking of brain rot, this fucking paparazzi who asked Kesha how she feels about Katy Perry and Dr. Luke collabing. Were you dropped on your head? Do you have a single brain cell in your skull? Because what the fuck is wrong with you? To ask somebody what they think about their sexual abuser and their rapist in any context. I don't care if it's about them dying. I don't care if it's about them getting arrested. I don't care if it's about them working with them, with their best friend. I don't care the situation. To bring somebody's abuser up to them, to their face, and expect them to answer with a smile. What the fuck is wrong with you? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Kesha was getting off a flight the other day. She was walking to her car, and TMZ, of course, is in her face with a camera. And they're like, Kesha, we just have to know. What do you think about Katy and Dr. Luke collabing? And Kesha just stays silent. She gives a little smirk. She gets in the car. She waves and drives away, which is the right response. Like, that's the mature thing to do. But who does this paparazzi think they fucking are asking that question? Like, can we be so serious? That is so rude and just uncalled for. It made me so mad. Just like use your brain. I know you're at TMZ. Like I know that's your job, but can we just like again not dehumanize these people? Imagine bringing somebody's rapist up to their face and being like, "Hey, what do you think about what they're doing now?" Who gives a fuck? Ugh, oh my God, it made me so mad. And with that, that is the end of this week's episode of Too Pop to Handle. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked what you heard and you're listening to us as a podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Google, Amazon, all the different platforms. There's so many podcast platforms. If you're listening to us as a podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a review, let me know what you're thinking. If you're watching us on YouTube, again, thank you guys so much for 100,000 views. That is like an insane number to think about, and it's crazy and so exciting. Thank you guys again for watching on YouTube. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the like, drop a comment, share it with a friend. I say it every week. If everybody listening or watching this episode shared this episode with one friend, I would double in viewers and listeners. It is simple math. It is so easy. Hit the little share, send it to a friend, send it to 2 friends. It's Pride Month. Give back to the LGBTQIA community. Bring a new gay into their life. It never hurt anyone. And if you would like to follow us on social media, we are at 2pop2handle on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. If you would like to follow me on social media, I am at Andrew Nucatola on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Come follow along. We are always yapping, always posting. There's always something going on for me to talk about. And with that, I will catch you guys next week. Bye!